Email capture is now number one. So we didn't make this explicitly clear in level one because we were just trying to take baby steps, so to speak. But now that you've got a better hook, a better story, and a better offer, we want to capture as many emails as we can. So no matter what you're selling, you need to capture the lead. A lead magnet with a lead form, as we've spoken about. What I want to harp on here, though, is that the relationship is more important than the initial sale. So a lot of you are leading right off with the sale, understandably, but if you can capture the email by giving them something for free and then make the sale after, you've got a much healthier business on your hands because at the very least, you've got the lead. So think about this as renting versus owning. So on social media, you might have a massive social media audience, but you're kind of renting them. They live in Instagram, they live in TikTok, and you don't really have full control over how you message them. Versus when you have their email, while you can't control all the filters that their email system is using, you have a much better chance of getting a hold of them. From there, now that you've captured the email, you want to add them to a series that is pre-built. Ideally customized based on the area of interest. We touched on this a little before. You can customize these forms depending on where people are coming from and then put them into the right bucket. They're going to get a welcome email from you, just letting them know that they're in. And then from there, you're going to send them weekly emails, ideally, or at least a couple times a month, with some high value content. Now let's talk about newsletters versus launches. It's time to get good at both of them. So newsletters, your goal is to send high value content at least one time per week. I want you to remember the one for all strategy that we talked about before, where you create one piece of content. It can be used across a myriad of different channels, the newsletter being one of them. And then you want to include forward to a friend somewhere in there. Some email services have those mechanics built in, and that'll help you grow your list. This also gives you the perfect opportunity if you have products to sell, including just your personalized one-to-one coaching or your in-person groups, whatever it might be. You always want to do a soft mention of the offers as a PS or somewhere down towards the bottom. Even if the email's point was not to promote that directly, you always want to include it. Again, this counts towards your 5 to 7 exposures. Now, in a launch, you want to start 2 to 3 weeks out. Much more than that, people are going to lose track of it. So we found, and we see throughout the industry, that 2 to 3 weeks out is a good place to really heavily promote that you've got a launch coming up. Now, again, you can do kind of teasers and things like that in your newsletters of what's about to come, but then you're going to want to start sending dedicated messages about the launch 2 to 3 weeks out. Again, you need urgency and or scarcity, hopefully both. The email count is key. Remember, again, the 5 to 7 exposures. So an example would be 3 emails in week 1, 2 emails in week 2, and then 2 emails in week 3, especially in that week 3 part within the last 48 hours, because people usually make their decisions kind of last minute. The content still needs to have some value though, so you don't want to just be hammering buy. Hopefully you're talking about the launch, the things that are going to be in it, so that even if they don't purchase, they're still getting value and they're still encouraged to open up those messages so that you have a better chance of converting them in the long run. So just as we did in level 1, where we talked about offer hacking, now we're going to be looking at this email sequence hacking. We're going to be taking it a step further. Again, you want to learn as much as you can, as fast as you can from others. So get in the flow. Create a new email address that's dedicated just to learning. And what I mean by that, it's not your work email, it's not your personal email. This is the email that you're going to jump on all of these lists for so that you don't have it crowding your inbox. And when you go there, you know this is a place for you to learn. I want you to sign up for at least 5 to 10 different lead magnets. It doesn't matter what industry, just get in the flow and you're definitely going to learn how it works. Essentially, what you want to be asking yourself or what you want to be looking for is what happens next. Immediately upon signing up, what happens next? How often are they messaging you and how? You'd be amazed that not only will you get emails, but potentially with different services, you might start seeing social media posts. You might even get some Facebook messages. In some ways, if you gave them the phone number, you'd start getting some text messages. So just think about all these different touch points. Now that you're in the flow and you're seeing everything, you do want to identify, is this evergreen or are they messaging me towards a launch? So effectively, what are they promoting? What are you finding the most compelling as a part of this promotion? And then what do you think you could easily replicate into your own business? So again, learn as much as you can from others, take notes, Don't steal, but borrow, and see how you can apply this to your upcoming launch.